This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on the South Today, farm fences could be history as an Otago farm tests cattle collars with a difference. Dunedin author Lindley Hood wants electronic scooters off the nation's footpaths. And Dunedin's Hayward College isn't the only thing getting a spruce up, with college workers receiving free haircuts on site from one of their colleagues. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Sophie Morris. Farm fences could be history as an Otago farm tests some cattle collars with a difference. State-owned enterprise Landcorp has teamed up with Ag Research for a 2-month trial to test virtual fencing technology.
Blissfully unaware of the role they're playing in potentially changing the way dairy farms operate, cattle on Feburary station have been fixed with special collars to stop them wandering into areas they shouldn't.
It's fitted with a GPS that helps train them to stay away from sensitive environments that we choose based on a select criteria.
Those sensitive environments include hundreds of kilometres of waterways. State-owned enterprise Landcorp owns 2 farms in the area, both of which have land bordering Lake Mahinarangi. Instead of having to fence the vast areas, they've teamed up with Ag Research to run a 2-month trial to test virtual fencing technology.
This is a new innovation that's come along as an alternative to traditional fencing of waterways, which takes a lot of infrastructure, a lot of time and a lot of R&M in the future.
When the animals move near the forbidden zones, the collar gives off a buzzing noise which grows gradually louder. If that doesn't work, the animal receives a single electric pulse to the back of its neck.
We're looking to exclude cattle from waterways is the goal behind it, and sensitive environments. And on top of that, we also want to protect our animals' welfare and monitor them.
It's the first virtual fencing trial in a commercial beef herd in New Zealand. If successful, it could provide a cheaper alternative to traditional physical boundaries. In Waipori, the South Today.
A fire investigator is working to determine what sparked a scrub blaze which forced a number of residents from their homes in Dunedin early this morning. Fire and Emergency New Zealand say the fire began behind Kaikoura Valley College at around 3 a.m. Just over an hour later, crews of professional firefighters from St Kilda, Lookout Point, Roslyn and Dunedin Central had the flames under control. Police had advised some nearby residents to evacuate from their homes, but no property was damaged. The cause of the blaze was unknown and fire investigators are at the scene to determine its origin. Dunedin author Lindley Hood wants electronic scooters off the nation's footpaths. She addressed the Dunedin City Council today and is planning to take her fight to the top.
It's called a footpath, not a scooter path. That's the view of Dunedin anti-e-scooter campaigner Lindley Hood. The well-known author addressed the DCC's public forum, spelling out her group's views on electronic scooters and plans to take a petition to the Minister of Commerce and Consumer Affairs.
Has got the power to order a compulsory product recall, which requires a supplier of goods to recall the goods if it appears to the Minister that reasonably foreseeable use, including misuse, will or may cause injury to any person. I mean, we knew live scooters were doing that before they came, but they let them in.
She says evidence of people being injured on Lime scooters has been in the media since the vehicles first began appearing on the city's streets, cycle lanes and footpaths. Representing the Dunedin Pedestrian Action Network, Hood also says Central City roads wouldn't be safe for e-scooters due to cars. But she has a plan for that too.
It's motor cars that have to be taken out, starting with taking out parking places. And obviously, it won't happen unless we have a really good bus service. And that's the tragedy of the current way the system works. The council, the city council, should be able to say to people who complain about losing parking spaces, we have to weigh your demands for parking against the need for bus stops and safe crossings and so on.
She says Lime's international parent company knows the scooters imported into New Zealand had issues.
And Lime knows that crap because they've withdrawn the ones that are getting flooded into New Zealand. They know they're faulty. They're replacing them in the States with ones much safer, updated version. So they're using New Zealanders as crash test dummies for their scooters they know to be faulty.
She says footpaths used to be places where people stopped, chatted and socialised, but not anymore. In Dunedin, the South Today.
One of New Zealand's most high-profile prisoners has been released on parole and is heading to Dunedin after spending nearly 40 years behind bars. 62-year-old Arthur William Taylor was granted parole in January after being denied 19 times prior. Radio New Zealand reports he was released from Waikato's Waikaria prison this morning and will be flying south to Dunedin in a few days. Taylor sought to be paroled to a semi-rural Dunedin home where he will live with a soon-to-be law graduate. Dunedin's Hayward College isn't the only thing getting a spruce up, with workers receiving free haircuts on site from one of their colleagues. Contractors have been hard at work completing the renovations to the university hostel before the students come back.
Getting a much-needed trim, Icon Construction employee Nathan Hasty gets a shave from his colleague Joel Taniora during a bit of downtime while they renovate Hayward College. This summer has been the first taste of construction work for the former hairdresser.
I'd been a barber for the last decade, so that'd pay the bills up until the time I started at Hayward, and then literally it was just moving from these tools to another set of tools.
Many of the workers have been doing 14-hour days, 7 days a week to complete the $11 million project in just 3 months. But the jib-stopping team found themselves ahead of schedule, allowing time for Taniora to utilise the skills from his former job.
With a little bit of downtime, you get to suss out who wants a haircut, who needs a haircut really. Like being in the game, in the barber game for that long, you definitely know who needs a haircut.
He's been allowed to do the hairdressing during work time as a way of the company giving back to staff.
The guy who I was working for, he started really telling everybody that I was a barber, and it sort of went from there. And first I just started with the rare few, like the bosses and da-da-da-da-da.
Requests for a cut and shave have snowballed, and he's probably cut the hair of all 50 Icon Construction employees at least once, including about 10 on the day we spoke with him.
I became more of a myth and legend, like the jib fixer who's a barber, you know, so and then it just turned into, oh, can you do mine? And once somebody's got a haircut and they're walking around, they ask, oh, who did your haircut? And all of a sudden it's the guy putting up the walls down the hallways. So
the Hayward College renovations are expected to be finished by the end of this week. In Dunedin, for the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today, we hear about Zoe Sadowski-Sinnott's most recent win, and we meet the Dunedin man with a passion for making stringed instruments.
Every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell menswear, it fits.
When it's time to say goodbye to your pet, Heaven Sent Pet Cremations are here to help you through this difficult experience. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today for their care and guidance. Phone 489 2274.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
Need to rent an EFTPOS? Whether it's just a week or the whole season, maybe a pop-up store, a concert or event, Anything's POS have equipment available to suit your needs for retail and hospitality with local support. To rent, lease or buy, contact Anything's POS.
Step into Shop on Carroll and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
I just like it. It's something that you can see the fruits of your own labour. You put it right now, you don't have as much to do at Christmas. You come see me, Derek, in the garden department, and then we get it done right.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
At the Hard to Find Bookshop, we sell quality books on all subjects from the rare to the recent, and where viable, we will come to you. We have a great reputation for integrity and honesty, so if you're downsizing or sorting an estate and have books to sell, contact us.
Welcome back. Zoe Sadowski-Synnott has won New Zealand's first world title for skiing or snowboarding after being concussed during a qualifying run. The 17-year-old snowboarder from Wanaka won the slopestyle gold on her qualifying performance at the FIS World Championships in Colorado after the final was cancelled due to bad conditions. She was concussed following her second qualifying run yesterday and wasn't going to compete in today's final. Sadowski-Synnott won silver at the World Champs 2 years ago, took bronze in the big air competition in last year's Winter Olympics, and became the first Kiwi snowboarder to win gold at the X Games last month. She says her latest medal was hard to rate against her other achievements. Dunedin man Steve Barkman has had a not-so-secret passion for making stringed instruments since the 1990s. He says one of the main differences between handmade and factory-produced guitars is love, and he guides us through the passion and pain of making and selling his beloved instruments.
I mean, most of the stuff that's pumped out of factories is, like I say, it's just another factory-made guitar. You know, they can do very clever things very easily because with CNC machinery and computer-controlled stuff and all that, they can do very clever things very efficiently and make 20,000 all just the same, you know. Like I say, it's not where I want to go. Most of my woods are designed around being used for acoustic instruments more than electric ones, you know. Very specifically cut, very specific wood. There's certainly an attachment there. I mean, you do get to know those bits of wood pretty well by the time you've finished working with them. So my first custom instruments I made in the mid-90s, early to mid-90s, were certainly difficult to let go. Yeah, they were really, really hard. But I've sort of gotten over that now. It's not quite such a wrench. I've got 3 electric instruments on the go at the moment that I'm working on. So I prefer acoustics because I play acoustic instruments. I'm a bloody awful electric guitar. Mind you, I'm not much of an acoustic guitar player, but I'm an even worse electric guitar player. I can appreciate someone who can play one, but it's not really my scene. It's not somewhere I go. It's like probably letting go of a child, you know, when they go out flatting or something like that. You do the same thing. You sort of think, oh God, I hope they're going to be all right, you know. I mean, going to folk festivals, you know, around the place is great because usually there's, you know, 2, 3, 4, 5, half a dozen of my instruments there in one form or another. You know, if someone does want one made, then I want them to come to me with some really, the more specific they can be about what they want, the happier I am. Just to give a thought about what they might really like, something that they can't get somewhere else. Generally speaking, if they can come out here and play some stuff that I've got so I can hear them playing is very good too. I've built a few instruments for people who have been too embarrassed to play in front of me, which is really difficult. But certainly, yeah, and come out and have a look at the woods and think about it and give me the strictest guidance you can, because I enjoy a challenge.
After the break on the South Today, Wanaka steps back into medieval times and we check out tomorrow's weather.
Of Put Some Colour in Your Life are now screening on Channel 39. Take a look at Australian artists and the techniques they use in their studio. Put Some Colour in Your Life, Tuesdays, 7:30.
At Green Island Medical Centre, we are committed in caring for our future and present generations. We know as a young person, coming to the doctors can be quite daunting. Our highly skilled doctors and nurses will make your experience one where you will leave with a smile. Your health is very important to us.
Most of us have spots on our skin. That's quite normal. Finding skin cancer as early as possible is key to successful treatment. Book in for a free check of 1 to 2 moles or a comprehensive full body check with the Mole Doctor in Waverley.
Every Kiwi deserves a reliable garage door. Rely on Garrador to protect your important stuff. Just like Darren, his Garrador keeps his favourite ride in mint condition. We have a huge range at affordable prices. Visit our website for a free consultation. We stand behind every door.
It's always really satisfying when a customer comes back after doing a purchase of outdoor furniture and knowing that we've got it done right.
Step into Shop on Carrot and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Oh, help! Don't suffer in silence. Call Sunny Chin, Chi Master Body Technician for structural, muscular, emotional bodywork. Phone 03 4250 606 for all your pain relief.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Need to rent an FPOS? Whether it's just a week or the whole season, maybe a pop-up store, a concert or event, Anything's POS have equipment available to suit your needs for retail and hospitality with local support. To rent, lease or buy, contact Anything's POS.
Welcome back. Wanaka went more than 500 years back in time over the weekend, with locals enjoying a medieval festival. Crowds came out to enjoy the fundraiser organised by the local Holy Family Catholic School.
The way it used to be done. School teacher Philippa Wilson gets her punishment at Wanaka's medieval festival.
For my sins, a teacher. And the children just thought I'm too grumpy, so they put me in the styes. A revolt, I tell you.
The trip back in time was organised by the local Holy Family Catholic School, with medieval enthusiasts from Dunedin and Invercargill coming along to give a hand.
I've always been interested in medieval society and culture, and about 10 years ago we had the idea of starting a group in Dunedin, mostly for medieval and Renaissance music, and since then it's just grown and grown.
He says there's plenty of interest in channeling the medieval era.
We do lots of concerts and performances. We do dance teaching, we play for feasts, we do puppet shows every year. We play for school events, all sorts of things really. Wherever we're called, we come.
And visiting from Dunedin, La Belle Vilaine demonstrated dance moves from the time.
Quite simple, not too much jumping about because of course we have to wear all this gear. So they're very sedate and very regal.
One of the things that appeals for medieval reenactors is experiencing life the way their forebears did.
Well, I think all of us who have those sort of origins, you really enjoy getting in touch with that culture. It's part of our cultural heritage, so I find it very satisfying to connect with this aspect of my personal heritage.
The event, which was postponed in November because of bad weather, is to raise money for school facilities. In Wanaka, for the South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. Farm fences could be history as an Otago farm tests cattle collars with a difference to see if shock collars can work on cows. Dunedin North Linley Hood fights to get electronic scooters off the nation's footpaths and is taking a petition to Parliament. And Dunedin's Hayward College isn't the only thing getting a spruce up, with workers receiving free haircuts on site from one of their colleagues. And time now for a look at tomorrow's weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Beginning with today's southern view, taken of tourists doing holiday snaps in the Octagon. Looking at the situation, a weak trough may allow some afternoon showers later tomorrow, but Tuesday will be a fine and warm day. Starting off at the northwest of the South Island, Greymouth and Westport can expect warm and showery conditions with highs of 24 degrees. Across to the northeast, Nelson and Blenheim can expect a fine day with 27 degrees. In Canterbury, a cloudy day and 24 degrees for Kaikoura, 27 in Christchurch, while Ashburton is due for a 26 degree high. In the southern towns, there's a chance of showers. The Catlins and Balclutha should reach 22 degrees, while Lumsden and Gore are aiming for 23. Heading westwards to the Central Lakes, it's a warm day with light winds and some clouds. Wanaka is aiming for 26 degrees, Alexandra and Queenstown reach 25, and Te Anau 23 degrees. To the northern towns, Timaru and Oamaru are in for variable winds, a chance of showers and 23 degrees. Omarama should reach 26 and Twizel 25 with mostly fine conditions. In Dunedin, a few showers overnight with northerly winds dying out and an overnight low of 14. Mostly fine and sunny tomorrow with warm temperatures and light southwesterly winds, a high of 22 and an overnight low of 15. Fine and sunny on Wednesday, mild with fresh breezy northeasterlies, a high of 21 and a low of 16. In Invercargill, showers clearing tonight with an overnight low of 13 degrees. Fine tomorrow with sunny periods, some cloud and light northerly winds, aiming for a high of 23 and a low of 14. Warm northwesterlies freshening on Wednesday with high cloud increasing, looking at a high of 24 degrees and a low of 14. That's all for our news this Monday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks for joining us. Have a great evening. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.